Welcome everyone to Omniyat TV. أنا اسمي علا الأسيس.
وأنا ريما حمادي. We're very excited to welcome you to a new episode of Youth Compass.
In the past, we've talked to students about university and where they would like to be in the future. But today we're going to be talking to a professional who's already done that and has been in the workforce for a while now.
We're very excited to welcome to our show Maya Aridi, who's in the financial services industry.
Welcome, Maya.
Thank you, girls, for having me.
Thank you for coming. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am currently employed as a branch manager with HSBC Bank, and I've been in this role for about almost 8 months now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before you were a branch manager, were you still in the same industry, or how did that work?
Oh yes, I've been in the financial services industry since, oh boy, from 2002, you can say.
Oh wow.
Even, starting off as a part-time.
Wow. Part-time, like teller?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. I started, so with HSBC, I've been with them for almost 6 years now. And prior to that, I worked for TD Canada Trust for 7 years. So
Oh wow.
That's a long time.
so almost
That's
11
very
years.
good.
And you just been appointed the branch manager position?
Yeah,
Well,
in May.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a very big step.
Yes, it is.
Definitely
Very
is.
challenging, but a lot of fun.
So with your job that you do every day, what's the most thing that you like about it?
I would have to say I've always wanted to manage a group of people. And, when I was in school, I did minor in human resources. So I've always had that interest in management.
Yeah.
Because I've been in the sales role for quite some time, quite a few years, I just wanted to change.
Yeah.
And so, it's very tough to get this kind of position, but you really have to work hard. And this is basically the goal that I had set for myself.
Good for
That's
you.
very
To
good.
get into management.
I'm sure there's a lot of responsibility that comes with your management position.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of responsibility. It's not just me that I have to manage anymore. It's now I have a whole branch that I have to, look after and manage properly.
And that's definitely very different than just working, like when you have someone who's managing you.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
you're just watching out for yourself.
Absolutely. Because I have the sales team, and then I have my, customer service representative team, and I just have to make sure that we all work together and, we're a successful branch, and, we bring in the sales. And
what would you say is the least thing that you like or look forward to, I guess, at your job?
At my job, I would have to say is just being successful at what we do. So every day I come in and I, come with a positive attitude, because at the end of the day, I've worked for managers before, and if the manager is not positive and outgoing,
then the whole
the whole team shuts down.
Yeah.
So I come in with a positive energy, and I don't like to be too uptight.
Yeah.
We're a great team, and that's basically what I find us being successful, and that's what I look forward to.
I wish you were my manager.
Yeah, I know. You sound like such a fun and
that would be so fun.
Well, if you girls get into the financial industries,
we know who to call.
We know who to call. Exactly.
So does your job entail overseeing the whole entire branch and all the sales representatives and keeping them on track?
Absolutely, and making sure that we meet our sales targets too. So that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have a mission that we have to complete, and that's just the way the financial industries works.
Exactly.
It's all about sales targets and good customer service.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Let's say if somebody that you're managing, or the group of people you're in charge of, if someone's not doing what is exactly supposed to be done of them, what do you do? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because not every employee is going to
be the perfect
employee or always listen to you, but basically I have coaching sessions with each of them. So my sales team, I have them more often, once a week. And we basically go over what their sales targets are for the week, and what are they finding challenging, what are their strengths, how can I help? So I am very involved. Which,
and that gives them also more confidence, because if they ever need anything, you can show them what to do or how to do it.
Exactly. So, I have an open door policy. So,
That's so cool. Like we just walk into the bank and you never know what goes on behind the scenes. But it's a huge, cool team and
yes, and lots going on. You know, we always have to make sure, because it's such a competitive industry.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of banks, and especially the area that I work in, there's a lot of high net worth clients, and there's every possible and there's every possible bank that you can think of within, you know, in the little village that I work in. So we have to make sure we give the best customer service,
and if they're demanding, you have to just smile and say okay,
that's fine.
Absolutely, we have to, you know,
so
we have to deal with it.
So you said you minored in human resources in school. What else did you go into, and what?
Well, I studied finance. So if we want to talk about my education, I originally wanted to get into journalism.
Okay, so this wasn't your original plan?
No, it wasn't. And so me leaving high school, I thought I wanted to get into journalism.
Yeah. Was it like a very set thing? You're like, yep, I'm going to be a journalist?
It was, yes.
Oh, wow.
Because I volunteered for a newspaper company in Oakville.
Okay, so you were like in the field even.
Yeah, so I would go like every day on my lunch. I had an hour and a half lunch, so I'd go to Oakville and I would help one of the editors with, with her stories. So, so I enjoyed that. Yeah. And when I applied for the journalism program, I wanted to go to Ryerson. That was pretty much the only school I wanted, but because it was so competitive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so unfortunately I didn't make it. I guess there was more candidates with a bigger portfolio.
Yeah.
So, at that time I was actually working part-time also at the bank, at TD Canada Trust as a teller.
Okay.
So I figured, maybe this is something that I could see myself getting into. So it all kind of started from there.
Okay, so hold that thought. We're going to talk more about your schooling and what you did in school after the break.
Okay.
And we're going to continue after the break.
خليكن معنا.
هالبرنامج عم يتقدم لكم برعاية أندريوس ميديا. هالبرنامج عم يتقدم لكم برعاية أندريوس ميديا.
Welcome back, everyone. We are very happy to have with us today Maya Aridi.
She's a branch manager at an HSBC bank, and before the break we were talking about how her goal in school and education after high school was on journalism, and how she switched to the finance industry. So tell us a little bit more about that and what made you decide to make that switch.
Well, because I was working part-time as a teller with TD Canada Trust, and seeing the fact that I didn't get into the journalism program at Ryerson University, I started becoming more curious and had to change my major to finance.
Yeah.
And just basically because I saw that this is a job that can be secure for me, and I became more interested in it. So I started taking also courses on the side for.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because with finance there's designations that you have to take. So so I started taking the courses like my Canadian Securities course, personal financial planning.
So would this be outside of university? So if somebody today wants to do that, is that outside of school? Or?
Yes.
Where do you go to get that? Like,
it's with the Canadian Securities Institute.
Okay.
So they're located downtown. So you basically take correspondence courses.
Okay, and do you need to apply for that, or you can just take them?
You can just take them.
Okay.
You do have to, it's an application process, but it's correspondence basically. Okay. So you read the books, you do the assignments, and then you have an exam.
Wow, how long were they?
It depends on the courses that you take, but normally they give you about a year or 2 years depending on the length of the course.
Oh wow, so that's also kind of the length of some programs you can take in school even.
Yeah, that's
some programs are shorter
too.
Absolutely. So this is something, a lot of people are interested in the financial industry. You'll normally see that they will take these courses.
And do you feel that taking these courses along with majoring in finance is what helped you get to where you are today, like be a branch manager, or do you think that can you was
it just like a baby step, or do you feel like it really
like it made a difference?
Well, taking those courses, it's more for even when you have to be, when you want to get into sales, or if you want to be a broker, stockbroker. So that's just the that's just the foundation of
So in
banking.
any field in the financial industry, these courses are good for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, becoming a branch manager, you need it's more leadership skills that you have to build on.
Yeah.
So because that's something that I was very interested in. I basically had my branch manager when I was in sales become my mentor.
Oh wow!
So I took courses for leadership and I read books.
Yeah.
And that's what led me to getting into management.
Is it mandatory to take these leadership courses, or did you just want to show that you were really interested and that you were really like prominent on getting?
Not necessarily actually. I just wanted to take them on my
own. Initiative.
Yes, because it's very tough to get actually into management. I mean, you really have to prove yourself as a salesperson and as a leader that you can motivate a team. So that's huge.
Yeah, and as you were saying, you started off as a teller at TD, and then now you're a branch manager at HSBC Bank. Mm-hmm. So what kind of steps, I know it's very difficult to become from a teller to a branch manager, but what kind of steps did you have to take that you thought brought you to this point?
I would have to say is truly focus, perseverance, and patience.
Yeah.
You find a lot of people, they get into, even just working as a part-time job, they're just kind of, coming into work and then they just care about the paycheck.
Yeah, and they don't care really about the job
or about the company.
Yes.
Yeah.
To me, it was not just about the paycheck. It was like, this is something I want to build into a career. So I always took the necessary actions of, the best piece of advice I can give people is always think about the next role that you want to get into. Practice the role that you want to be in next. Don't practice what you're doing now.
So
that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a very
that's been my motto always.
Yeah, because that's what helps you grow. You're not staying in the same place.
Exactly.
It's helping you move on.
And even like dressing.
Yeah.
The way you dress to work, dress the way that you would dress in your promoted position that you or your targeted role.
So then your managers and the people who are higher than you see you as that role already. You don't. Like, it's a very easy transfer.
Then they see that you're motivated.
And they take you more seriously and not just
100%.
All these positive things lead to the next step.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and they see that you're focused, right? So that's a big key for them, because at the end of the day, if they want to promote you, that's their recommendation. So they want to make sure they pick the right people.
Yeah.
Right?
And do you feel that majoring in finance and taking that in school helped you
Absolutely.
where you are now?
Absolutely. I mean, school... not everything you learn, especially when you take like the general courses, you're not going to always, but it's always a great, it's a great foundation for you to build on yourself and, and get that education.
It gives you even more experience in that same field.
Yeah.
So did you learn, no, it's okay. Did you learn a lot in school that helps you today? Like today you do something, you're like, oh, I remember learning about that in school.
Yeah, well, being in the financial services industry, I mean, the things that we learn in school are like, tax, tax implications and investments. So it was kind of nice because in school sometimes we would, we'd have groups and, and do a lot of practical work. So it wasn't just theory.
And that's good because that shows you how it's going to be in the field.
Yes.
Which is better than just reading a book.
Reading a book and learning about, whereas like actually doing everything.
And I've always been more like a practical learner. Like I like to read too, but more practical than theoretical.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when you were a part-time teller at TD, did you ever think that you would be a branch manager at?
Yeah, you know what? I never thought that far, to be honest, at that time.
Wow.
But it was so interesting because when I moved to the sales role, when I became an account manager, a lot of people that I would meet at, in the branches, they would just be like, I could see you being a branch manager one day.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And to be honest, that's what actually kind of,
opened your eyes.
Intrigued my interest. And I was like, maybe this is something that I should go to and something different. So that's when I started to really pursue taking the courses and taking it really more seriously.
We're going to talk more about this after the break, but so please stay with us and we'll see you in a bit.
Welcome back, everyone. We are happy to have with us Maya Aridi.
Maya, sharing your experience from university transitioning into the job, was it difficult? Because a lot of students have a very hard time getting a job into their field, like into a career that they would like to see themselves do? Was it very difficult finding that, or?
You know what? I guess you can say I was fortunate that way, that, me having working in the field, in the financial service industry, I was able to find a job in sales, actually. And, because I knew I was going to be graduating, so I needed to start finding a job.
Exactly.
So it helped a lot. And my manager actually helped me a lot in terms of finding a full-time career being an account manager.
Your manager at TD?
Yes, at the time, yeah.
When did you start that process? Did you start right after you finished, or did you start while you were
pretty much before I graduated? I just kind of started looking.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, like that's another great advice I can give, that if you know what you want your career to be, go work in the field part-time, or just do some freelance, and this will make it easier to transition into a full-time
and that gets
career.
you in the door.
Exactly.
Get your foot in the door, and then you can break through after.
And then the cash will start coming in.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah. To pay for those loans, right?
Exactly.
Pay for the clothes too.
Exactly. So would you say that being a student, so you were working part-time, but that wasn't really a full-time responsibility. Yeah. So being a student and being in university every day, and then going straight to the real world and working every day full-time and managing a whole group of people, like, how was the transition? What do you like more? What was like easier for you?
I would say, you know what, I've always been the type to, because I'm such a practical person, I love to work. I mean, I enjoyed being a student and being in school and studying, but I just feel like, putting my knowledge to work into something, that I'm actually,
of greater value,
has greater value to it. I just love being in the workforce.
That's so good. You're getting me excited.
Yeah, I know.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, you know what? Don't get me wrong. I mean, you got to have fun in university and enjoy your studies. But getting into the workforce is a lot of fun. And even though it's got a lot of, there's a lot of stress involved.
And everything in life.
But that's in everything.
Yeah.
But you feel like you've basically, from when you're a child to the time that you start entering the workforce, you're just, you feel that you've accomplished something. Yeah. You feel very proud.
Exactly.
So.
Did you ever have pressure? Like, you knew at an early age that you wanted to be into the financial industry. Like, journalism was your idea, but you knew pretty early that this was what you wanted. But did you ever have pressure from, like, anyone or teachers or family that to be something else, or did you have this as your first option?
Yes. Well, being Lebanese, and I mean, I'm sure like any other parents, but my parents always wanted me, why don't you be a doctor? Why don't you be a lawyer? Or a pharmacist, right? So I'm sure you guys hear that too.
Yeah.
But you know what? None of those really struck me.
Yeah.
And even like, getting into finance wasn't really like my number one idea of having as a career.
Yeah.
So is it my dream job? No. But I'm happy.
That's good.
Yeah.
If you could go back, would you change anything?
Well, I mean, if I go and I win the lottery today, I would probably quit my job and not stop working, but I would probably open up my own business.
Okay.
But you'd use your financial knowledge in your business,
for that
right?
business.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can definitely incorporate that. I mean, I've always had an interest in fashion, but that, more as a hobby.
Yeah. You can pursue that.
Yeah, it's a very competitive field too.
Oh yeah.
But I mean,
But you look really good, so I can see where
you're very well in the industry.
Thanks, girls. So that's something that I would definitely want to do, because I mean, obviously, if I have that much money,
I know,
having won that much money, I could feel like I'm
want.
enjoying it. I don't need it for income.
Yeah, exactly.
But being in the role that I'm in right now, it's good for income, good for it pays the bills. It and I enjoy it too.
That's good. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to bite your tongue for customers, or
all the time,
or even your employees that you were just like, I have to?
Oh yes, and that comes with the role, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many rules that you have to abide by, and there's a lot of times where you just have to
just smile.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, exactly, and just think more logically.
Yeah.
And especially with dealing with with clients who are upset about something or whatnot,
Customers can be very demanding, and the fact that you know how to deal with them and when to say, when to bite your tongue, when not to, that's a very important role, and that comes with I guess leadership courses, or you learn things.
You learn that everything especially through school too. Because
you learn so much patience, and you know what? As much as we hate group projects in school, they come
they come in handy. Because in the real world, you're working with people. You're not just working by yourself.
And you know what? And you don't always get to pick your groups in school. So people always get upset why they don't get to pick their friends. But this is exactly why. So when you get into the workforce, you're not always working with people that you admire.
Okay, so one piece of advice you could give to students who want to get into a career of either finance or just a career that they want, what would that be?
I would probably say, best advice is know what you want. Like in high school, it's tough because a lot of people don't know what they want. But if you have an idea of what you want to do in terms of a career, know that just before applying to universities.
Yes.
And if you can, get a part-time job in the field that you want to get into as a career.
That's the most important thing.
Definitely.
Thank you so much, Maya, for giving us your time today.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
We're so happy that you came, and anytime I have a financial inquiry or anything, I'm gonna
you come right
hit
to
you
me.
up.
Or if you have any questions regarding careers
I was gonna say, you've helped us so much. You've opened my eyes to a lot of things.
Thank you very much for
Thank you so much.
We really enjoyed our time.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for tuning into Youth Compass. You can follow us on www.omniyattv.com.
Or follow us on our Facebook and Twitter site under Omniyat TV.
We will see you next time on Youth Compass.
This program was brought to you by Paramount. Savor the flavor of the Middle East.